All right. So I feel like if you have no faith or belief in anything, right, your only option is to have a belief in yourself and your own morals and your own like foundation, which is always subject to change. If things are always subject to change, how you treat people changes, like how you go about life changes, like what you're interested in changes, your morals change. And I feel like that's a very like selfish, prideful, like all about me way to live life. And like, I don't think it, like what you believe in, like I personally have a faith in Christ, but what you believe in matters less. It's just important to believe in something bigger than yourself, or like is going to lead to selfishness, pride, and arrogance.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I feel like, but there is that question of people who are agnostic, right? They believe in something.
But what is the something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like their moral compass might just be like, I've just been like taught to be a good person. And so that just comes based off what their parents told them when they were growing up and things like that, or like what they think society thinks is right. And I think that's also, I don't fundamentally agree with it, but I do think at some point a lot of people in life go through that phase where they hit like maybe I believe in God, but their faith is not strong enough, or I believe there is something that created all of this, but I don't think it's God, or I don't think it's Allah, I don't think it's what do the Jewish people say?
They just believe
Hashem, I don't know, something like that, like
Yeah.
but Abba, but I, you know, like they believe in something, but it's not a Buddhist philosophy, it's not Hindu, it's not any of the monotheistic religions. It's just kind of like there is something, but I don't know how to connect to it, you know, or I do know how, but it's through a spiritual path.
But like if you believe there's something, right, and you don't know what it is, it's just like I believe in the universe.
Yeah.
Basically, you're becoming your own God in your mind because you're not defining the God outside of yourself.
I think you become the not necessarily the God, but the arbiter of God. So kind of like you become the Jesus. You become what you think God is telling you, or you become what you think God is putting out there for you, you know? Like, I don't think it's one of those things where you fundamentally just say, okay, well, I think this is bad and I think this is good and I'm just going to go with that. But there might be that like moral compass in the back, and then you kind of have to dictate like, oh, okay, I feel like this would be okay. I feel like this, you know, like going based off of that.
So we all have feelings on what is good and what is not.
Yeah.
Does everyone have the same feelings of what is good and what is not good if they don't have anything to believe in?
Fair enough.
Or are they different?
I don't think so. Because if you don't have anything to believe in, your standard of good is what you think in that moment.
But you see, the only thing that I would also argue is, with what you're saying is, even the Bible, there's so many different denominations of the same Bible that it kind of goes to show you, no matter what, you're always going to have, like, groups of people will always have different philosophies and different ways to interpret, even if you give them the same exact book. You know?
So I think that's really good. So we all live in reality, right?
Right.
Like gravity happens at a specific pace. If we describe what's happening differently, gravity is still gravity. And I think that is the same with the Bible. Like, all because my interpretation of it is one thing, I should now take what I believe and like create a whole like semi-religion within this one religion. And I think denominations exist because one person had their interpretation that enough people agreed with, and it started like a mini religion within the religion. When the whole point is like what Jesus did, not like finding a group. You know?
Yeah, but I think it's always going to happen. You're always going to have the people who will, like, if I tell Dave, do this, right? If there's a room of 5 of us, right? And I'm telling everybody the same exact thing. Everybody drive straight to this place. Dave might hear it as drive straight, but take a stop at Starbucks. You might hear it as drive straight, but, you know, do this. Like, everybody's just always going to interpret it. Even in those denominations, even in the Catholicism and all these denominations of Christianity, the people in there still differ, you know, very widely on things.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's also...
So then it goes, is the problem the word or is the problem the people?
100%.
Or the community of people.
Right.
Right.
So should it only be personal?
I think there's this important mixture to understand that, like, I view God like this, like, if you had a singular man, right, his relationship with his wife looks different than it does with his kid,
100%.
which looks different with his friends and his uncle and his grandma, his grandpa. But when they're all in the same space, they get to enjoy him for him.
100%.
And it's like, that's the love, I think, from a Christ-centered perspective that we should have for God, where we all have this individual relationship with him. And when we come together, like, you might got stories about him I don't got. Or like if we go back to the father example, like the kid might have stories about something he did with his dad that his grandfather doesn't have, but when they come together they can like appreciate like, wow, like
that's him,
that's that guy, you know what I mean?
100%. I agree.
I think that is should be the view of God, and I think that's what is described in the Bible. But I think people then take that and they're like, you know what, like if I don't have people who believe exactly what I believe, I can't believe this thing. That'd be like not being able to appreciate your dad if your brother didn't think the same way you thought about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. That's exactly what you also say with those conversations where you're like, Joe, I know Joe different than what your girlfriend might know Joe, different than what your mom might know Joe.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're still Joe. And you know Joe different than everyone else knows, you know. So it's kind of one of those things where I 100% agree. Everyone experienced it differently. And I think we just have to be able to be okay with people being able to experience it differently, because I do think, especially with priests, pastors, a lot of these people who are like higher up in these religions, they always have this like, you must follow this like a, to a T. And then they judge you if you don't. And I feel like that is the real problem we have with faith, because yes, I do think faith is definitely important in terms of just being able to live like a real solid life and just being able to have balance. But I don't think just like grading everybody, basically making faith like a school, like you get a grade book at the end of it. How good did you do? Oh, you got a B+, I think that all that should matter is just your relationship with it and where you think you're gonna, go with that.